to go for the so-called radical social engineering. Actually, the concept of social engineering was given by one person called Karl Popper, and he has said social engineering can be of two types. One is piece by piece approach, that is in a gradual manner you can go for social engineering, but all together you can go for social engineering at once. If you are going to social engineering all together at once, then that is called totalitarianism, and then Karl Popper has called Plato as totalitarianism or totalitarian. Karl Popper is one of the famous critiques of Plato, right? One of the finest critiques and famous critiques of Plato is Karl Popper. This is what the story is about so far. So why I said theory of knowledge, right? In this discussion itself, you might be understanding why Plato is known as the so-called. I answered you why you have to study about knowledge. Second thing that I answered you is why he can be called as first feminist scholar, why people call him as the father of totalitarianism, right? What are the books written by Plato and why he was considered as a revolutionary in his youth, right? These are the points that I have discussed so far. So at times people also consider Socrates as an extremist, as a romanticist, or as an utopian extremist who wants to go for extreme changes. Romanticism, very imaginative in his ideas. What is this imaginative? Imaginative. The philosopher Queen is an imaginative thing. So Plato is considered by few scholars as an extremist. He is considered as romanticist. He is considered as utopian. Why extremist? He wanted extreme changes. Why romanticist? Very imaginative in his ideas. Best example, philosopher Queen. Utopian, very impractical in his thoughts. His thoughts are good to hear, but impractical to apply. This is what few critics say about Plato also. He's impractical, his ideas are very good to hear, but it is not practical. However, the basic objective of Plato, irrespective of this, is to make the Athens city great again. He wanted to make Athens city the great city again. That is the reason why he has propounded all this. It appears that he is extremist, but more or less whatever he has said is extremely true. Right? So he wanted to make Athens great. He wanted to make Athens as an ideal state, a perfect state. As a result, he has propounded this. Now, if you look at the same thing in Indian context, Gandhi also said the same thing. India wants to be a perfect state, and when India can become a perfect state, Gandhi propounded that perfect state in the form of Ramarajya, right? So Plato uses the term republic for an ideal state, whereas Gandhiji used the term Ramarajya for an ideal state. But both, more or less, they have given the same line of thought when it comes to the so called idealism or ideal state. So, their ultimate objective is to make an ideal state. They wanted to make the city ideal so that they gain the lost glory. They gain the lost glory. So, again, I say if Plato used the term republic for ideal state, he used the term republic for an ideal state, whereas Gandhiji used Ramarajya for his ideal state. Right, this is the thing. Marxism, utopian idea. I'll come to that point. Yes, we can consider that as an utopian idea which is impractical to apply. But Marxist forms have emerged, at least in USSR. That I'll tell when I'm saying Marxism. Right. This is what Plato's thing is. Now, What is the subject matter of Plato? I hope you have understood so far. I'm continuing. What exactly is the subject matter of Plato? The subject matter of Plato is republic. Why republic? Because in this republic he has constituted an ideal state. He has constituted an ideal state in his book Republic. Few people also call Plato as a physician, a doctor. Why? Because he is investigating the state of Athens, the root cause for his illness. Athens is suffering from illness and he is investigating the root cause for that. And that is why he is also known as a physician. So, in his physician, as a physician, what Plato has found? Plato diagnosed two problems in Athens city. The illness in Athens city is because of two problems. He found that Athens is not one city state, just like how people used to consider. Rather, there were two cities inside Athens. One city is the city of the rich, the city of the poor. The city of the rich and the city of the poor. So he considered, he was investigating this, and he has found out one thing. Athens is not one city state, just like Bharat is not one nation. You have two Bharats, the rural Bharat and the urban Bharat, right? So you used to study that in the early 2000s, right? There are two Bharats in two Indians. One is rural India, urban India, right? Just like this, Greek city state is also diagnosed of two problems. The thing is, Greek city, though the term is just a one city state, but there are two cities, which is one is rich and one is poor. What does this mean? There is inequality in Athens. In short, there is inequality in Athens. So why this inequality, or who are rich here? The rich, when he has observed who is the rich, he observed that the rich is the ruling class, just like the Indian society now. Poor are majority people. Majority people are poor. Now, this is the actual problem of Athens city. Inequality is the basic problem. Now, when there is inequality, people go for revolution. Whenever there is no revolution, your state is going to fall and it is going to be replaced by another rule. Hence, he says that the problem for Athens is it is suffering from inequality. When there is inequality, democracy declines. Democracy won't function in this rule. And then the rule will be mostly fascist, the rule of fascism. Only few people will rule. Right? What do you mean by fascism? There will be no freedom at all. No democracy, no freedom at all. Fascism is one example of totalitarianism. there will be complete loss of freedom, right? This is called fatalism. As a result, Plato calls like politicians sells dreams. Politicians sells dreams. కలలను అమ్ముతారు వీళ్ళు. రైట్, పీపుల్ విల్ బై ద డ్రీమ్స్. ఆ కలలని ప్రజలు కొంటారు. People buy the